Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel for another video. Here is the long lost man that many of you guys have been saying, where is Jake? He hasn't been on your channel. So where have you been?
I've been on sabbatical from YouTube.
He's actually filmed a couple of funny videos over on the membership side of my channel, but when I was looking at scheduling this Q&A, I did realize that it has been almost like 8 months since you appeared on this side of YouTube.
I'm sorry.
But he's still here, and so today we are going to sit down and do an updated Q&A. I asked you guys over on Instagram to send in your questions for Jake and I. Some of them are funny. I asked for lighthearted questions. We don't always love talking like in-depth marriage and children. You know, it's nice to have a good variety. So this Q&A has some lighthearted questions as well as some really, you know, good and deeper thinking questions. But I do want to thank Ebby for sponsoring today's video, and I will show you guys more from Ebby here in a second. Ebby is Jake's favorite sponsor that I have, isn't it?
It is.
Why do you love it?
What is it?
You don't know that all of my cute underwear and bras are from Ebby?
Hey, good thing you didn't put them in my drawer.
So I'll show you guys more from Ebby here in a second, but we are going to jump in to the Q&A right away. We're actually, part of the reason why he doesn't show up on my channel all that often is because I film while he's at work. I schedule my work week while he's at work, so we're both working. On the weekends, we're either enjoying life and I'm not working, or we are running kids to and from, which is what we're doing today. So I actually had to set an alarm on my phone to make sure we don't go over our allotted time for doing this, but getting us to like sit down and film a 40-minute video is actually quite the challenge. So he's gonna be off to a swim meet, I'm gonna be off to jujitsu and dance, and we will see each other tomorrow. So that's part of the reason why he hasn't been on my channel in a while.
Oh, so it's your fault.
It's my fault. It's not because Jake doesn't want to show up. Okay, so we're going to, I want to find some funny ones to start us off. So all the questions are here from Instagram. Of course, can't do them all, so I'm going to go through them. If they're questions we've answered in other Q&As, I'll kind of try to skip over those. Okay, so the first question is, here's a funny one. Would you rather I go bald or have no teeth at all?
Oh, bald.
Bald? Then no teeth?
Yeah, teeth. Oh dear. You can put a hat on. Maybe a blossom hat.
Or a wig, I guess.
That's a gross question.
I don't know. I don't think I could tolerate either, honestly. What is the most memorable trip we've been on so far in our travel trailer?
The glacier trip, because it was like our first big one.
Yes.
It was remarkable. But South Dakota was super fun.
Agree. I'm reading over the questions. This one is wild. She says, not that kids and grandkids aren't fun, LOL. We of course want to be with them, but do you have any fun plans between kids moving out and then becoming grandparents? Oh my. Have you ever even... Jake doesn't even think ahead till Tuesday.
I just turned 40.
We're not ready for that question.
I mean, I guess, I don't know, flexibility? Like any major plans? It'd be easier to travel overseas without all the children.
Mm. How many kids did you want when we got married?
0.
Shut up.
2.
2.
2's good.
You wanted the nuclear family.
Yeah, 2.5 kids. Yeah, I'm average.
1.5.
I'm an average person.
1.5 children. This one says, law enforcement wife, how do we deal with your crazy work schedule? How do we deal?
Well, thankfully the past 5 years I've had a pretty normal work schedule. So it's been, weekdays, no holidays, good hours. So when you put your time in,
Gets
you have enough
easier.
seniority to where you have more flexibility. But in the beginning, the first 7, 8 years, there was some grindy of being on graveyard, working Christmas, Thanksgiving. And how do we deal? Probably not the best back then.
We just tried.
There
our
was no
hardest.
other options, so we just made the best of it. But I tell you what, I was pretty grumpy on Thanksgiving evening going into work. Like, not happy.
I wouldn't say your schedule now is necessarily ideal. You have to think that most people are used to a typical 9 to 5.
Okay, so I start work at...
No super details.
Oh, okay.
For safety, but just
Sure.
just like it's not ideal. So what do we do to kind of help? I have to do more. Let's just be honest. I have to do a lot of the late night runs with the kids. I can't ask him to stay up past a certain point because it's just not safe. And so that's kind of hard, is like the early bedtime. It also really infiltrates on my evening relaxation time because I can't do anything in this room. I can't watch a show. I can't like have lights on and read a book because I'll keep him up. So that's kind of challenging. Is like, I'm the kind of person that needs an hour to unwind, and he is sleeping because he has to wake up very, very early. And so that's kind of hard. And then you might think, well, why don't you just sit downstairs on your couch? Well, then I'll keep my kids up. So it's kind of like, when dad goes to bed, the house is in shutdown mode. So that's kind of hard. But we are super grateful for the weekends off. And it is nice that he gets home earlier. So that's good, but that also had some adjusting to do, especially with homeschooling, because he comes home, his day is done, he's off work, he wants to talk, and I want to talk to him too, but like I might be in the middle of math. And so, the schedules with having a law enforcement job are never like perfect. So we just try to make the best of whatever it is. So I know you guys have heard me rave about Ebby so many times over because I absolutely love them. They are my go-to place for my intimates, bras, underwear of all cuts and styles. They have an amazing size range, you guys, that really is such inclusive sizing, and the cuts are made to feel every woman feel so good in their own skin. And I also know that you guys love a good deal, and that is what I want to highlight to you today, are Ebby's sets. So on the website, there are a bunch of different sets or bundles that you can get from Ebby. They are already discounted. My discount code, which will be down below for you guys, and I'll put across the screen right here, is gonna save you additional money on top of that set discount already. So this is the best way to get the most out of your money, stretch your dollar the farthest on Ebby if you are looking for new bras, new underwear. There are sets, which obviously is going to be a matching bra and underwear. There's bundles that's going to have 2 bras and all different styles, colors, patterns. You guys definitely head over to the website and check it out. So this is one of the newest sets that I got from Ebby. This is their beautiful python print. It is definitely, a little more exciting than a nude color. I like to change it up every now and then. Every bra, no matter the style, and every pair of underwear, no matter the style, is going to have Ebby's no slip grip technology on the bras as well as on the underwear, all the way around the waistband as well as all the way down the leg, and on the front, so that things are not moving where you don't want them to. You know what I mean? These underwear, even though this style right here is a high cut brief, are completely seamless. So you are not going to see this in your favorite pair of fall leggings. They're going to slim and support under your favorite dresses for all the upcoming holiday parties. And best of all, you're not going to have to fidget, readjust, do anything with it. Now, if the Python print is not your thing, don't worry. They have plenty of neutral colors available, but I just pulled this one out to show you guys because the sets are the best bang for your buck. And if I had to choose just one Ebby product to get, it would be the nude set with this high-waisted brief. So I wanted to pull mine out, but it's actually in the dirty laundry. So anyways, same thing, just a different color. So the website and the code will be down below for you guys. Definitely check out Ebby. Have you been skydiving?
No, never will.
Same, never. I always joke and tell my kids, because some of my kids like to say that they're going to do these really crazy, our kids say that they're going to do these really crazy things. And I always say that I don't know how I will die one day, but I know a lot of ways I won't die. And one of those ways that I will not be dying is by malfunction of parachuting off of an airplane.
Or a shark.
Or a shark.
Nope.
What is one area we disagree on in parenting? First one that comes to mind, rapid fire.
I don't know. You probably have the answer for this one, though.
No, it's your Q&A. I'm not taking your Q&A.
That we just, I don't think we disagree on anything.
Okay, that's good. What have you changed your views on as a couple while married?
As like a specific answer?
More of a generality, like a couple of things, just general.
Well, we've been together a long time, so from day one to day now, it's like there's been a lot of different changes. A lot of things. Reread the question again.
What have you changed your views on as a couple while married? Well, when we got married, we probably would have said we would never homeschool. That's changed. Mm-hmm. We've obviously deepened our walk with Christ, so that changes everything from media that you consume to music you listen to the way that we speak. All that's changed. I would say that our political views, while always having been, more, I don't want to say like the word because people get like really weird about the word, but we've always been more on the traditional side of things, I'll just say. But
biblical values. Yeah,
but that even before we knew that they were biblical values, that's just where we landed on a lot of things. And and not by default, like my parents, who knows, I'm pretty sure that they were, I don't even know if they voted. I know yours did. Mm-hmm. But so yeah, a lot has changed there. I would say our belief in like traditional Western medicine has changed a lot since we got married. I would say our understanding of roles in marriage has changed a lot since we got married. Pretty much everything has changed since we got married. Let's see. I want to find a funny one now. What is your favorite book of all time? Not the Bible, like a book you've read.
Oh, this reveals my nerd side.
Come on.
Oh.
Show it.
My first, really favorite book is a Star Wars book. Legends, called Courtship of Princess Leia.
That's so funny that you remember that.
But I did really enjoy the Hunger Games when they first came out.
Which was when? In college or high school?
I think I was, already on the department. Yep, I'm the guy reading Hunger Games, teen novels.
Who plans the date nights? I'd say we take turns.
Yeah.
But probably a little bit more me. Agree?
Mm-hmm. I feel like I should have a better book answer.
No, that's fine. Or do you take turns picking where to go?
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yep.
I mean, it's not like a set in stone thing, like that was your turn, this is my turn.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, I don't know, we try to agree at least. Let's see. Why do you guys have lots of dogs and no cats?
We're not cat people. Look.
I'm severely allergic to cats.
Yeah, and if you own a cat, I'll pray for you.
Um,
like a long time ago, I heard where a dog is always happy to see you, and a cat is always planning its escape.
People would say, my cat loves me and greets me when I come in.
No, they don't. I won't tell the graphic story, but like if you're a dog owner and you happen to be old and you pass away, like your dog will die of grief next to you. But if you own a cat,
look it up.
That cat might
don't say it.
Might not be your friend anymore.
What denomination is our family? Bible believing Christians.
Yeah, yep.
We're not in a denomination.
But not like in general, like we're non-denom, we're afraid to take a stance. It's not like that.
I would say we lean more toward Reformed Christians.
Yeah.
If we had to box it in. But there's things with like the Reformed side of Christianity that we do not align with as well. But if we had to say, that would be it. But I just like to say we are disciples of Jesus. Okay. Favorite hike ever? This is for Katie. The mosquito one on Kauai?
Drastically no. No. Hanging Lake and Glacier it's like a 6 miler, so you got, your
Hanging Lake was in Colorado.
Avalanche Lake.
Avalanche.
Was worth the effort of getting there.
Mm-hmm.
But Hanging Lake in Colorado,
Glenwood Springs,
was also really
amazing,
very unique and amazing. But the hike in Hawaii wasn't hard, but the destination was like bucket list.
Yeah, because the one in Kauai that we did was with a guided tour. So you kayak. Is that a river?
Yeah, it's a river.
But it goes into the ocean. So you kayak up a river for a decent distance, and then you hike a decent distance from where you dock your kayak, and then you reach this incredible waterfall that you can actually get in. So I mean, come on, that's pretty amazing.
That's probably the best one because it's a dream to swim in a waterfall.
Well, it's also, you can only get to it once you kayak up the river.
Yeah. It's 3 miles inland.
Yeah.
But out of nowhere.
While we were there, it was kind of, because we went for his 40th birthday. So this was one of his requests to do. And I felt really bad because our daughter, our youngest, she got, Katie knows this, but for those of you that don't know this, she got dehydrated from wrestling with her brother in the ocean the day before. They were having the time of their lives, but she was swallowing too much salt water. And at the time, it wasn't obvious, so we didn't realize it. But when you're taking in a lot of salt water, it messes up your whole electrolyte balance in your body. And so even though she was drinking plenty of liquid that day, besides drinking the ocean, that it messed up her electrolytes. And so she didn't want to say anything. Or did she say something before we left? Yeah, I think she did. I think she said she had a headache. Mm-hmm. But we were okay, just take some ibuprofen. But she was getting muscle cramps and she was really dehydrated on this hike. And so that kind of dampened it for us because she's our youngest. We were worried about her. And then, the hiking, and she was shivering because she was cold because she didn't feel well. And so I feel if everyone would have been 100% with their energy, it would have been a lot more fun. But that is probably mine too, just because, how can you do that? Favorite campsite we've ever camped at, also from Katie.
The Glenwood Springs KOA was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Pretty nice.
That one was right on the Colorado River. You can pay extra to have their premium sites where your trailer backs up and the Colorado River runs right there, and they had a really nice gazebo, and we put up our cafe lights, and it was really nice. I really liked that one too.
But for dry camping, the one we were just at in Utah,
Pine Valley,
was nice because it's so big and your view's all forest.
How will we navigate our travels with our daughter's first job? To be determined.
We don't know yet.
To be determined. That was actually a really large point of do we want her to get a job because obviously she's not bringing home the money? So do we want to be tied down by a teenager's job and limited on where we can go? So hopefully with the availability that she has given, it'll work out, and she's just going to take the days off. That's just what it's going to come down
have to deal with it.
She's not ready for us to be out of state without her, and we're not ready for that either. So maybe in the future, but not now. Let's see. I want to find a good one.
What was this one?
Does Jake do anything special to connect with the teen boys on a deeper level?
I do like taking them to our church, like men's breakfast, because it's very specific. It's just the boys, and it is very specific. But I mean, sometimes we don't really get into deep conversations, but just that time is precious. Mm-hmm. And I try to be intentional, but sometimes getting teenage boys to we gotta talk about deep conversations, they are not interested. They will just almost tell jokes and goof around and be silly. Mm-hmm. But it's the time together is the most impactful. Mm-hmm.
So you just try to seize your moments.
Yeah, they'll remember the time together versus a specific question.
Yeah, and going with an agenda. We're going to talk about serious things.
Yeah, a teenage boy's not going to remember any impactful thing I have to say with them. But they'll remember, oh, Dad always took us to men's breakfast, or, mm-hmm. Then I can remember exactly what we talked about.
Well, they might.
I don't know if I'm that profound.
So, what's your answer?
But I was very convicted when we were having dinner with a family, and the dad said that he started doing it with his son. So ooh, that's a good idea. So it made me be more intentional. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't have thought about it.
Mm-hmm. And someone asked for the girls too.
You're spending girl time this evening?
No, for you.
Oh. These questions always make me feel inadequate.
What do you...
It's hard because, I feel like there's drastic difference between a late teen, can we say their age? Mm-hmm. A 16 and an 11-year-old on how you connect with both of them. Mm-hmm. The younger one, she wants to play and be silly. But the older one just wants me to pay attention to whatever thing she has to tell me.
And act like it is the most important thing that you've heard all day.
Yeah. Yep. You're right. She wants her littlest thing is the most important to her. Mm-hmm. And that was something I had to learn recently.
And it's interesting to watch the dynamics just naturally shift within a family, how my boys and my girls respond to me and how the boys and the girls respond to him. And it could be over the same exact thing, and just the reaction is so different dependent on who it's coming from. So, I think that your biggest thing is to listen to them. That's really what it is. And intentional listening for the boys too. I don't always think, there was another question in here that was saying, how often do you do one-on-one time and all this? We don't, we have, but it's not something we do all the time, setting up one-on-one things. But it's just those everyday mundane moments when you're driving in the car and it's just you two, or today, he's taking just the boys to the swim meet, talking with them, being intentional, seizing that opportunity, asking them how they're feeling, how they're thinking, what they're doing, versus, just scrolling on the phone all the time. Those are just everyday moments where you connect with your kids. And so it's just doing those things and realizing that sometimes asking a question like that is going to open up a whole new realm of something that you weren't expecting. For example, when we were in Pine Valley and we were sitting around the campfire and I just asked him that.
Yeah.
Don't say it.
No, I won't, but that was Interesting.
You weren't ready for that.
Nope.
But I knew. So I was like, we're going to talk about this.
That's funny.
So yeah, I think just seizing those moments with your kids in the everyday is way more impactful than arranging like these super specific things. However, we've recently been talking about what we're going to be doing for our son's 16th birthday. Jake and I decided for their 16th birthdays that we wanted to gift our kids a one-on-one trip. So last year I took my daughter. We had a really good time. And we're coming up on my son's this summer. So we have been talking about that. And I know that that'll be a really memorable time for you and him.
That'll be
the
fun.
things that they're doing. So they have similar interests. And even though I could go along and be a really good sport, like he will enjoy that. And so there's no guilt when the child chooses which parent they want to take. So those are actually really good memories and moments. Let's see. How do you support me with my side of the family? Like or lack thereof. How do you support me with that?
Do I support you that good with this? Periodically ask how you're doing. If there's going to be an event, I check in before the event to make sure like how you're doing, where your head's at, and debrief if you want to debrief afterwards, and always be on your side and protect you if needed.
Yeah, I would say that all those things are really important, and then also just being there to listen and to recognize that sometimes things that don't appear to be related to that side of my life. Sometimes there's things that are tied up in that he might not even be aware of. And so me being able to communicate that and share is really helpful. In the past, especially, there's been times where maybe I had been convinced of something that wasn't necessarily true. And so, having him tell me like, no, that is not true, or no, that's not how that should have gone, or something like that. Just because when you've dealt with difficult parental relationships that involve a lot of labels and names of things that I won't say here, you can kind of wonder sometimes if that's true or whatever. And so having him be there to say, no, actually, I don't think that was right or something. It's like, oh, okay, it's not just me that felt that way. Because sometimes you can kind of think like, maybe I'm just way too sensitive, or, the words and the lies you've been told for so many years, they run deep. And so you need somebody from the outside, an objective person, to look at it and say, no. But also he does a really good job of not making things worse, not adding fuel to the fire, so to speak. So in the instances where we have seen my parents or had a situation or an event or something like that, he's always very kind and respectful, and I appreciate that, because if he went in with an aggressive undertone, that would just create way more stress for me. So those are some of the ways without getting super, super deep.
But we are close to certain parts of your family.
Yeah, that's just my actual
family.
parents. Yeah.
There are
my siblings
that we are very close with.
My brothers.
Yeah.
My family in Michigan, which is on my dad's side, my mom's sisters. So we have relationships with pretty much everyone who's alive in some way, some deeper than others, but there's not like bad feelings across the board. And then we're very, very close to one of my brothers and my sister-in-law and my nephews. So let's see. How did you get our toddlers and young ones to stay quiet in church? We went in the family room and Jake spent a lot of time in the hallway chasing them.
Yep, walking in the hallways, goldfish. Yep, family room was the place to be.
Our
for
kids
a long
screamed
time.
their heads off when we tried to check them in, and they would always end up paging us anyway to come and get them.
Yeah.
So we stopped doing that for a lot of years, but we wanted to continue with the discipline of going to church, and so we kept trying. We didn't let that defeat us.
Yep.
But there was many of years where I was rocking one or nursing one in the dark, and he was in the hallway, and they played the sermons at the church we went to at that time aloud on speakers, so you could at least hear it as you were chasing your toddler. So we were really grateful for that season. And then when we moved churches, we actually did have the kids go into their age classes for a while. In hindsight, probably wouldn't have done that, but you know, you learn better and then you do better. So we didn't know it at the time. So then once they got older, they did do that. I actually volunteered in one of my kids' classes who I knew was going to have a hard time separating from me. So I served there to keep her comfortable. And then we moved to a really small church, small. And at least for us at the time comparatively. And they went in their respective classes there, but we knew the teachers really well, and the kids were much more comfortable because it was a much smaller environment. And then since those were for our little kids, our older kids sat with us there too. Once they were over a certain, that's my alarm. Once they were over a certain age, sorry. And then now since 2020, we've attended service as an entire family. And so that is kind of been our progression there. So you guys just heard that alarm. So we are going to wrap it up with one more question. This one here, let's see. When we had littles, and this is another law enforcement family, when we had littles and you had weekdays off, did we skip school? Like once I started homeschooling?
Nope.
No.
Press on.
And what did you do with yourself during that time?
I think you described it as floundering.
Floundering around the house. Just like a cloud floating around aimlessly. What am I doing? So yes, we still did school. When I first started homeschooling, he was on a 12-hour shift, and so he would have 4 days off. So there was just no way that I could take 4 days off of school and still teach our kids properly. So he would get things done. He would run errands. Now, currently, because he still does have a day off per week where we are doing schoolwork, it's just kind of his day. So he'll wake up. He will do his breakfast. He will go to the gym. He will run a couple of errands.
Costco day.
He used to go to Costco. You haven't been in a while, but I do need you to start doing that again. He'll go to Costco with a very specific list, maybe even pictures. That's a joke. Okay, so if you guys want to see the Costco haul, that's actually in my membership, and Jake's narration on that is probably one of my favorite things ever. People, I'm sure you guys can tell, but he's honestly pretty funny most of the time.
Yeah. I try to be entertaining. It just doesn't come across on video. Like, when people are into you, like, I don't think your husband enjoys being filmed. I don't mind at all. I'm just kind of blah on film.
So you're saying I'm the YouTube star here?
Yeah. I couldn't start my own channel. No one would be interested in what I have to say. Like,
all right. Did I ask the final question? Oh, yes, I did. It was, what did we do for homeschooling when you were off?
yep, press on.
Press on.
I did read a lot because they were younger. So
You did do some read alouds.
yep.
Because I was trying to do 2 Sunlight cores at that time and read 850 books at one point.
Go for it.
I was losing my voice.
Go for it.
And still to this day.
And school got done earlier.
Yeah, it was only a couple hours.
Yeah, we would go do stuff.
Once we were done.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't feel like that was an hindrance.
No.
Yeah, but you had to do school. Like There's no way.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm off Sunday through Wednesday.
Yeah.
What are you
We
gonna
only
do?
do school on
What are you
Thursdays
gonna
and
do?
Fridays. Yeah. So we had to make it work.
Yeah.
But they were younger, so it was just a couple hours anyway. So by the time he was done getting his pump on at the gym, then
Yeah.
it was time.
Ready to go.
We were ready to spend time together. So that's going to be it for this Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing that Jake is still alive. He is still well, and hearing some of our answers. Make sure you check out the links to Ebby. That will be down below. And don't forget, you can use my discount to save 15% off. Until next time. Oh, and if you have a video request that you would like to see with Jake, I would love to hear from you guys. It's just hard for us to schedule, but he's not against being on my channel.
Yeah, I'll do it.
So if you want to see something, leave it down below. Give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye.